Are you feeling the pinch when it comes to your disposable income? It's not just you. Many of us are facing rising costs for housing, energy, gas, groceries, and other monthly bills, leaving us with less money to spend on discretionary items. And with the pandemic, supply chain problems, inflation, and soaring commodity prices, businesses are also feeling the squeeze. Even some of the biggest companies in the United States are suffering from declining sales, shrinking profits, and weaker earnings results. First on our list is Disney, the mega brand known for its legendary movie production. The pandemic and inflationary pressures have led Disney to shut down over 60 stores in 2021, and another 59 stores are in the process of being closed in the US right now. That's a total of 119 closings in 2 years. After the downsizing is completed, there will only be 23 Disney stores left in the country as the conglomerate tries to focus on its digital platforms and social media. Next up is GameStop, the troubled video game retailer that became a stock market and media sensation earlier last year, with falling revenue and negative sales growth. The world's largest gaming retailer has been shedding hundreds of stores over the last 2 years, closing a total of 1,000 locations in 2021 alone. Now, 557 more stores are conducting clearance sales to go out of business as GameStop switches its focus to online operations. Best Buy, a popular electronics retailer, has been downsizing its physical footprint for the past few years. The company closed 20 stores in both 2019 and 2020. Citing supply chain and labor shortages. In November 2021, the company announced the closure of 60 more locations, resulting in over 2,000 layoffs. During a third-quarter earnings call, Best Buy reported a significant decline in foot traffic and announced plans to close at least 20 additional stores by the end of 2022. The trend of store closures and downsizing is not unique to Best Buy. Many brick-and-mortar retailers have faced challenges due to the rise of e-commerce and changing consumer habits. With the COVID-19 pandemic causing further disruption, retailers have had to adapt quickly to survive. Best Buy has responded to these challenges by investing in its online presence and offering curbside pickup and same-day delivery options. These efforts have helped to mitigate some of the effects of declining foot traffic. However, the company still faces stiff competition from e-commerce giants like Amazon and Walmart, which offer a wider selection of products and often lower prices. Despite these challenges, Best Buy remains a major player in the electronics retail space. The company's focus on customer service and technical expertise has helped to differentiate it from competitors. Additionally, Best Buy's strong relationships with major manufacturers give it a unique advantage in terms of exclusive products and deals. Despite seeing a significant increase in profits during the pandemic, Microsoft is still feeling the effects of changing consumer habits and the rise of e-commerce. As a result, the company has announced the closure of its remaining 70 physical stores in the United States, shifting all sales to online channels. The move to online sales has been a long time coming for Microsoft, which has been gradually transitioning to a more digital-focused business model for several years. The company has invested heavily in its online presence and has seen significant growth in its cloud computing and software offerings. Closing its physical stores will allow Microsoft to focus on its digital initiatives and streamline its operations. The move is also expected to result in significant cost savings for the company, as it will no longer have to bear the expenses associated with maintaining and staffing physical retail locations. Pharmacy chain Walgreens is the latest victim of supply chain disruptions that are leading to shortages of essential medications. The product stockouts and declining sales are making Walgreens get rid of underperforming locations to cut costs. Last month alone, the chain silently closed 4 locations around New York, Florida, Colorado, and Massachusetts. But according to MoneyWise, the recent shutdowns are part of a plan that will ultimately result in the shutdown of over 200 stores. CVS is also suffering from similar issues and is trying to reduce its brick-and-mortar footprint by 10, bringing its total number of closures to 900. Too many CVS stores are stuck in the past, with bad lighting, depressing interiors, messy merchandising, and a weak assortment of products. The closures will enable the chain to invest in its remaining stores while boosting its rapidly expanding digital presence. Other companies on our list include Sears, Kmart, Macy's, JCPenney, and Victoria's Secret. These iconic retailers are all facing challenges due to rising costs, changing consumer behaviors, and the increasing popularity of e-commerce. Sears and Kmart, for example, have struggled to compete with other retailers and have closed hundreds of stores in recent years. Macy's and JCPenney have also faced challenges due to declining foot traffic and changing consumer preferences, leading to the closure of many of their locations. Victoria's Secret, once a major player in the lingerie industry, has also faced significant challenges. The company has been criticized for its lack of inclusivity and for failing to keep up with changing consumer preferences for more diverse and body-positive advertising. So what does all of this mean for consumers? It's clear that we're facing a rapidly changing retail landscape, and businesses need to adapt quickly to survive. Bath & Body Works, owned by L Brands, has reported a 37% reduction in physical locations. The parent company has announced the closure of 50 Bath & Body Works stores by the final quarter of 2022 and plans to slash 130 corporate jobs to cut costs. French beauty retailer L'Occitane has experienced a 56.5% decline in in-store sales during the holiday season of 2021 and is closing 23 of its 166 stores in the U.S. The brand plans to reduce its brick-and-mortar footprint to 133 locations by 2023 to emerge from Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Chipotle is permanently closing 65 restaurants due to major labor issues, declining sales, and supply chain challenges. Laurie Shello, Chief Corporate Affairs Officer at Chipotle, said that ongoing staffing challenges have made it difficult to hire new staff members to keep doors open. Office Depot is preparing to conduct another round of store closings this year as its retail division sales were down by 11% in the third quarter compared to the same time last year. An additional 71 retail locations are expected to close their doors by early 2023 as the company aims to realign its operational focus and improve company costs. Gap, a popular clothing retailer, has announced plans to close 30 of its locations by 2023. The company has faced challenges in recent years due to controversies and changing consumer preferences. Competing with fast fashion brands like Zara and luxury brands like Nordstrom, Gap has struggled to maintain its market share in the crowded apparel industry. One of the controversies that has impacted Gap's bottom line is the recent collaboration with rapper Kanye West. Despite significant hype and anticipation, the Yeezy Gap collection has faced criticism for its lackluster designs and underwhelming product offerings. To remain competitive, Gap has been exploring new strategies and initiatives, such as collaborations with popular influencers and digital-first marketing campaigns. However, the company still faces stiff competition from a crowded and rapidly evolving apparel market. Similarly, AT&T, the world's largest telecommunications company in terms of revenue, has announced the closure of 250 stores and the shedding of 3,400 jobs. The move is part of the company's efforts to reposition its struggling wireline segment. The telecommunications industry has faced significant disruption in recent years due to changing consumer habits and increasing competition from digital-first companies. AT&T has been exploring new strategies, such as investments in 5G and streaming services, to remain competitive in this rapidly evolving market. Pier 1 Imports, which filed for bankruptcy in 2020, announced the closure of 450 stores, but the pandemic, worst shipping crisis in modern times, and months-long port congestion derailed the company's plans, making it impossible to re-emerge from Chapter 11 protection in 2022. The retailer has now closed its last 492 stores, totaling 942 closures in the past couple of years. Sally Beauty Supply, the Texas-based retail chain that operates over 4,500 stores and distribution centers in the U.S., is closing 350 locations by the end of the year. The company reported an almost $20 million drop in its net sales in the past quarter, which was attributed to being unfavorably impacted by inflationary pressures that continue to impact consumer behavior and supply chain challenges. McDonald's, the world's most famous fast food chain, is closing low-volume locations by the hundreds due to increased costs following the pandemic, implementation of new health and safety regulations, and higher food prices. The company is seeing its lowest profits in 13 years and is now taking the cautious route by shuttering 200 outlets at Walmart. The retail industry is undergoing significant changes, with many well-known brands closing some of their stores. These closures are being attributed to various factors such as the pandemic, inflation, supply chain and transportation costs, declining sales, and increased costs. The retail industry will continue to experience these challenges as the economy undergoes further changes, and it is essential for retailers to adapt to these changes to stay afloat.